Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. Honorable Chief Guest, Minister of Tourism and Environment, Tariq Ibrahim, President of Destination Future, Hamza Said, Excellencies and distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum. My topic for today evolves around making Maldives a competitive tourist destination. To begin with, I will highlight some of the key issues and challenges of Maldives as a tourist destination. Thereafter, I will present the pillars that make a destination competitive, followed by strategies for destination marketing in the future. So please brace yourself. My speech will be a bit lengthy. The UN Environment Programme and World Trade Organization defines sustainable tourism as tourism that takes full account of its current and future economic, social, and environmental impacts, addressing the needs of visitors, the industry, the environment, and host communities. Despite growing geopolitical and trade tensions, in 2025, generally the demand for global tourism was robust and sustained. Some regions were affected. Asia Pacific has performed well, although overall performance is still below pre-pandemic level. International arrivals grew 33% in 2024, an increase of 78 million from 2023. In most destinations, solid growth has been observed in visitor spending. Global tourism receipts reached $2 trillion in 2024, 15% above pre-pandemic levels. Now I move to the core of today's presentation. I introduce you to the Travel and Tourism Development Index. The index measures the set of factors and policies that enable the sustainable and resilient development of the travel and trade sector, which in turn contributes to the development of a country. TTDI is an important tool that helps to benchmark progress of a tourist destination, compare performance with other tourist destinations, informing policy and investment decisions. Maldives is an upper income country. According to the TTDI, low to upper middle income economies accounted for 52 out of 71 economies that have improved their TTDI competitiveness scores since 2019. Developing countries such as Uzbekistan, Albania, Tanzania, Indonesia, and Nigeria have shown improvement. Major emerging travel and trade economies of Indonesia, Brazil, and Turkey are in the top quartile of the TTDI Competitiveness Index. What does this mean? This means that as an upper middle income country, the Maldives has plenty of opportunities to improve its competitiveness in global tourism. Moving on to the pillars of TTDI, I would like to start with safety and security, a very important pillar. I wish to highlight some points related to safety and security of Maldives. Terrorism remains a persistent global threat. This slide shows travel advice for travelers to Maldives on various websites. Interestingly, this is not only for Maldives. Similar advices have been released, as you can see on the slide, for other destinations too. The Global Terrorism Index of 2024-2025 shows that the epicenter of terrorism has shifted out of Middle East and into sub-Saharan Africa, which now accounts for over half of all deaths from terrorism. Over 90% of terrorist attacks and 98% of terrorism deaths in 2023 occurred in actually conflict zones. How do we tackle such travel advisories to Maldives? The 5TMP, Fifth Tourism Master Plan, highlights that countries generally use an index to measure and monitor terrorism incidents. International organizations monitoring and reporting on terrorism, such as World Economic Forum, use the average number of attacks and casualties to compute this index. In the absence of an index and annual reporting of incidents related to tourists, the media and travel advisories, as seen in the last slide, report on single incidents, irrespective of the scale of the incident, number of casualties, and whether the incident was actually intended to harm tourists or not. So the Global Terrorism Index counts the total number of incidents in a given year, total number of fatalities caused by terrorists in a given year, total number of injuries caused by terrorists in a given year, and total number of hostages caused by terrorists in a given year. So you can imagine the case in Maldives. If such an index is computed, will be very low. Currently, unfortunately, Maldives is not listed in this index. The health sector is one of the key pillars of being a competitive destination. The 5TMP states that the World Health Organization recommends traveler health insurance that provides such basic services as emergency medical assistance, hospitalization, emergency repatriation for health reasons, and repatriation in case of death. Health clinics on resorts and inhabited islands are very limited. We need to improve, my dear colleagues, on this if we are to survive through future health pandemics and viral disease outbreaks, which is quite likely. Ministry of Health needs to work with Ministry of Tourism and Environment to upgrade the medical system to serve the growing number of tourists. The next pillar is human resources and labor market, and I would like to talk a bit lengthy on this topic. Tourism industry is the main driver of the economy and revenue, consequently having a major influence on portfolio of jobs in the country. Recently, Ministry of Higher Education conducted a study on National Human Capital Needs Assessment to identify changing employment trends. A World Bank report in 2022 suggests that people living in atolls are 10 times more likely than those in Greater Mali region to be poor. Maldivians living in islands should be provided the opportunity to contribute and be involved in economic activities. Tourism industry is capable of changing that. For instance, in the past, the island of Thoddu has been one of the success stories for agriculture. Today, the island has been transformed with the most number of guest houses while maintaining its engagement in agriculture. On another note, statistics show women outperform men in lower secondary education, in completion of tertiary education, and even completion of higher education programs. However, there is low levels of women employment in the tourism sector. There are several constraints for women to work in the tourism industry. Women are the primary caretakers for children and even the elderly in most families. Family and household responsibilities was the most often cited reason for women not being employed. Suggested strategies for women employment include improvements in connectivity and affordability of transport. This can provide more opportunities for women to work in the tourism sector. Also, access to childcare facilities that are trustworthy and reliable will empower women to get employed. Family-friendly work environments that recognize these commitments and provide flexible work arrangements will attract women for employment. It is important to provide health insurance inclusive of family members. Interestingly, while we are talking about it, the situation may improve with projections suggesting 2/3 of the population of Maldives migrating to Greater Malay area by 2054. The strategy for human capital development, I firmly believe in this, should not be to force private resorts into a minimum quota of local employment. Maldivians need to be instead upskilled and trained from the most renowned institutions in such a way that they are in high demand by the employers for high-level jobs. In the absence of a systematic and practical plan to address this issue, tourism, construction, and trade sectors continue to be dominated by foreign workers. In contrast, the education and health sector was able to transform and reduce its reliance on expatriates. In analyzing skill levels, latest figures show higher percentage of foreign workers hold higher education qualifications in comparison to locals. Unavailability of highly qualified, technically skilled employees has been a challenging issue in the industry. In the past, governments have conducted Hunar or skill development programs. These programs have thus far not been able to fill the gap. Maldives National Skill Development Authority has developed competency-based training programs for the tourism sector. These include water sports, housekeeping, tour guide, food and beverage, front office, laundry operations, airport representatives and the like. All these programs are offered at certificate level 3 or certificate level 4, because they are vocational skills development programs. Maldives National University offers some courses that can be used to develop wellness tourism, such as physiotherapy. Other areas could perhaps include sports and rehabilitation, wellness-based fitness, or hydrotherapy. The point is to identify the training requirements. We need to conduct a proper training needs analysis of the tourism industry by taking into account future trends and skill needs in the industry. We need to develop a database of local employees and analyze that set of skills and experiences that actually enable the local staff to be promoted to higher level posts. That is the gap we need to fill through upskilling programs. Current programs are misaligned to global trends too. For instance, World Economic Forum and employment platforms such as Indeed and LinkedIn has published reports predicting future trends in the job market from 2023 to 2027. Combined, these studies list jobs such as fintech engineers, big data specialists, business intelligence analysts, digital marketing and strategy specialists, financial analysts, supply chain and logistics, social media strategists, financial and investment advisors, event specialists, travel and tourism account executive, hospitality managers, sports experience coordinators, and the list goes on. So clearly you can see that future jobs has not been catered by the current vocational programs that has been developed by MNSDA or other institutions. Also, the government has allocated a budget of 993 million rupiah for training, scholarships, and government free degree programs in 2024. All the both schemes allow students to pursue a wide range of study areas. Enrollment in tourism and hospitality continues to be very low. Past tourism master plans have echoed the importance of matching training programs to industry training needs. Tourism education and training opportunities are not fully accessible for local communities, especially youth and women. Moving on, the next pillar is natural resources and cultural heritage. On this pillar, I would like to talk only about ecotourism. Maldives has rich cultural heritage. Historical sites include palaces and mosques. UNESCO has listed coral stone mosques for their rich cultural heritage. Likewise, the 3 biosphere reserves in Formula, Addu, and Baitol are natural reserves listed in UNESCO. Environment Protection Agency has listed 93 protected areas. These include wetlands, uninhabited islands, mangroves, manta points, marine parks, biosphere reserves. Also 103 birds are protected and 12 marine animals are prohibited for fishing. As a case in point, just for an example, in the island of Kelakunu in Hadal, popular for wetlands and mangroves, there is a forest made up of barugas. If my information is correct, it does not grow in abundance elsewhere in the world. Rare species of birds and turtles take this island as a nesting ground. Notably, some resorts have also positioned themselves as ecotourism islands. Tourists are able to experience coral restoration and turtle protection programs. However, ecotourism needs to be integrated into destination brand image in a strategic manner, and marketing materials need to highlight ecotourism attributes of destination Maldives. Water safety. I wonder how many of you have heard about this program. Speaking about our natural environment, I would like to highlight that water-related incidents have recently increased in Maldives. In 2019, Ministry of Tourism launched water safety program to address the issue of tourist incidents in the Maldives. As a first step, a team was assembled to study tourist drowning cases in the Maldives with Maldives Police Service and Coast Guard, MNDF. Water safety team visited the locations where incidents occurred. Meetings were held with island councils, Maldives Police Service staff in the region, guest house operators, water sports centers in these islands. Incidents occurred repeatedly. We noticed that incidents usually repeated in the same location in the island lagoon. For instance, it was observed that among Chinese visitors, tourists were not aware that a change in color in the sea meant deep sea. Some tourists mistook the guest staff sitting on the beach as a lifeguard who will look out for them. Some clinics in the islands didn't even have a defibrillator to recover the drowned patient. It was apparent, therefore, that similar to the Australia and other similar beach destinations, Maldives required a water safety program where continuous assessments can be compiled and practical solutions can be implemented to reduce tourist incidents in local islands. Water safety program was therefore launched in 19 islands. The 19 islands were selected because they had minimum 100 beds in tourist facilities. Thereafter, island maps were developed, which showed separate areas for swimming, water sports, and vessels. The areas were identified after Maldives Coast Guard assessed rip currents, tides, and other geographical factors in the island. Unfortunately, after COVID-19 and due to lack of funds, the program was put on hold. Local island beaches need safety instructions, signage, flags, and symbols as an established coastal destination. This will enable tourists to identify safe areas for swimming as opposed to swimming and wandering off anywhere from the island. Beach scouts can be trained by Maldives Coast Guard to be active in local islands to respond and rescue drowning tourists. Training programs should cover topics such as handling lifeguard equipments, accident management, observation techniques, using rescue equipment and assisting victims, understanding water environment, hazardous marine lives, swimming skills, and emergency first response. Medical tourism. The UNWTO defined medical tourism as a type of tourist activity which involves the use of evidence-based medical healing resources and services. This may include diagnosis, treatment, cure prevention, and rehabilitation. It can contribute to economic diversification and increase the country's profitability, earn foreign currency, expand employment opportunities, attract investments in healthcare. Studies show that through medical tourism, we can attract visitors from developed countries. Currently, there is a growing trend for people to stay in a healthy lifestyle. There is a demand for preventive, therapeutic, and rehabilitative medical treatment. These factors have led to the growth of medical tourism as a growing industry in many countries. Even in this sector, South Asia is leading. According to Fortune Business Insights, the global medical tourism market is valued at $31.23 billion in 2024. The market is projected to grow from $38.2 billion in 2025 to $162 billion by 2032. So there is a lot of opportunities for Maldives in this sector. Related to medical tourism, but actually quite different, is wellness tourism. Wellness tourism is a type of tourism activity which aims to improve and balance all of the main domains of human life, including physical, mental, emotional, occupational, intellectual, and spiritual. The primary motivation for the wellness tourist is to engage in preventive, proactive, lifestyle-enhancing activities such as fitness, healthy eating, relaxation, pampering, and healing treatments. It has been advised that sun and beach destinations should also consider targeting the wellness tourism market as a post-pandemic opportunity and long-term solution. Wellness tourism is one of the 10 key sectors of the larger wellness economy. Consequently, Maldives can offer a variety of products and services related to this sector. Shopping tourism. Shopping is becoming an important destination attribute that directly influences destination choice. UNWTO also postulates that shopping adds value to the tourism value chain and contributes positively to the overall tourist experience. To be a competitive destination, Maldives need to provide a proper shopping mall with a variety of products. Shopping is one of the oldest drivers of travel. Generally, they spend more than leisure tourists. For instance, the Korean Grand Sale, the Dubai Shopping Festival, and the Malaysia mega sale are promoted at destination level as tourism festivals. Packages are designed inclusive of flight, accommodation, food and beverage to increase visitors. Competitive destinations are able to attract tourists with shopping experience as the main driving factor. To be competitive, UNWTO highlights that shopping tourism is a major opportunity and growing trend. To leverage on this trend, destinations should provide authentic and unique shopping experiences for the tourists. Currently, authentic Maldivian products are hard to find in tourist shops. Authentic Maldives, organized by Ministry of Economic Development and Trade, promotes authentic local products. Some shops have been placed in tourist islands, but much work is needed to increase the portfolio of products. More importantly, locals are concerned about the low turnover of some of the products through authentic Maldives shops. Looking at global shopping trends, reports indicate that majority of shoppers prefer digital payment options. The new shopping trend is Clique and Motto. This concept of shopping is where consumers use both digital tools and physical locations to make the purchase. And the trend is led by millennials and Gen Z. Festivals. Festivals and events build a unique identity to destinations. Popular festival city destinations include Venice, Edinburgh, Berlin, Sydney, and Dubai. Among these, Edinburgh is the world's leading festival city destination with cultural, artistic, and entertainment events. The city hosts 11 major international festivals throughout the year. The vibrant city attracts performers, spectators, visitors, and media from around the globe. Simple ideas such as Edinburgh Book Festival attracts 100,000 visitors per year. Maldives have recently stepped up in its effort to hold international festivals and events. Sports tourism. Sports tourism has the potential to not only promote the destination, but also contribute to the economy. More importantly, mega events have the potential to transform and reimagine destinations, provided that the events are integrated into destination marketing strategy. Powerboat Association of Maldives organized an international powerboating tournament in 2019. It is also evident that islands like Formula and Lamugang has much potential to be branded as marathon islands. Other international sports events include powerboating race, surfing competitions, and beach volley competitions. The Maldives Integrated Tourism Development Corporation has successfully organized yacht rally called Savadi Datru, which was effective in providing participants with experiencing Maldives culture, cuisine, and local communities. In considering long-term strategies, studies suggest sports tourism has expanded recently. Established destinations such as Qatar was able to attract FIFA World Cup fans. Such events contribute to tourism revenue to the economy, enhance destination brand image, and provide social benefits. Eid. Maldives has a long history of celebrating Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. Local island communities and tourist resorts organize several events during Eid festivals. An article by Hotelier this year has mentioned that Maldives is ranked as the 4th most popular destination for tourists from UAE. Istanbul, Dubai, Cairo, Marrakesh, KL, and Zanzibar promote city destinations to attract tourists during Eid festival. It is suggested that destination marketing organizations such as MMPRC should list these events and organize promotional campaigns in partnership with tourist facilities and island communities. Cruise tourism. Meanwhile, cruise tourism has been long contested to bring large amount of tourists and stimulate the economy. Unless a destination is prepared with the necessary infrastructure and arrangements, there is evidence that cruise tourism can put pressure on hosting local communities. Maldives, being a coastal destination, presents several opportunities to be a competitive cruise destination. To be competitive, we should make arrangements for passengers to visit local islands, experience cultural heritage and ecotourism, visit biosphere reserve sites, dine in cafes and restaurants, and explore the natural beauty and marine life. As a long-term strategy, Maldives should work with other cruise destinations such as the Mediterranean region and destinations sharing the Indian Ocean in South Asia. Film tourism. There is evidence that film tourism and drama series helps to form a mental image of a destination. If strategically managed in collaboration with destination marketing organizations, film tourism can attract visitors from around the world. As opposed to advertisement, film and drama can capture audience attention for a much longer period of time. There's opportunity to show various aspects of the destination. This can be enhanced with cinematic effects and sound. For example, several K-dramas were filmed in the island of Jeju in South Korea, making it a popular attraction for tourists from around the world. Lam Atoll is also listed in some sites as a must-visit location for Star Wars fans, along with other locations such as Death Valley National Park in US or Leno in Italy. There's a lot of potential to promote Barestu and Lamgan as planets Karif for Star Wars fans. Taking a step further, destination marketers can provide opportunities and incentives for film studios for setting up film locations in a specific island or tourist resorts. Last, virtual experience or metaverse. Metaverse is the future of destination marketing. Metaverse has been identified as a disruptive technology that will revolutionize the way we manage and market tourism. Tourists can now experience and interact with tourist destinations in virtual reality prior to visiting destinations. As highlighted by my previous speaker, Mr. Rajesh Mehta, studies suggest that emerging technologies such as cloud computing, artificial intelligence, blockchain, Internet of Things, virtual reality, and augmented reality are all elements that will transform the digital experience. That is, Metaverse enables tourists to pre-visit the destination and explore options. As a first step, Maldives has developed 360-degree views of resorts. More needs to be done to fully embrace this powerful technology. Before I conclude, I would like to talk about tourism satellite account. The tourism satellite account, a sample was done in 2017, and thereafter no data has been collected. The importance of a tourism satellite account is to capture the full contribution of the tourism industry by taking into account all the sectors that contribute to all the sectors that generate revenue in the tourism industry. By changing this perspective, it actually accounts employment opportunities in all the sectors that support the tourism industry. This means if we include transport, food and beverage, restaurants, and all the sectors that are activated by the tourism sector, then the percentage of women employed in the entire tourism industry will be actually higher than only counting for the tourist resorts. As a final point, coming back to the travel and tourism index, I would like to emphasize that future tourism marketing plans should continue working on identifying where we stand according to the tourism travel and trade competitiveness index. Do you know that currently Maldives is actually not officially ranked? The official rank is listed by World Economic Forum based on the travel and tourism competitiveness index that I showed at the beginning of my speech. So the areas that has been addressed in my speech are areas that needs to be improved by policymakers, by working with industry stakeholders. So how to get listed, World Economic Forum will need to collect information through an independent institution, and it can be Maldives National University as well. So after collecting information based on the key areas that I have highlighted in my speech, they will compute the data, and then Maldives will be listed in comparison to other destinations. The importance of being listed is this will help us identify who are our close competitors and why we rank, whether it is higher or at a lower level, what makes us rank at a higher level, and what are the areas that we need to improve. And this will inform policy decision makers on investments, policy decisions, government regulations, so that as a destination, the industry and the government can work together to make Maldives a competitive tourist destination. Thank you for your time.